What's up, guys? It's Jesse at Fantasy Customs for Life. Super excited today, coming back at you for part 3 of the gsxr quad build. If you missed the previous videos, this is a 2005 Polaris Predator 500 quad with a 2005 Suzuki gsxr 600 sport bike engine installed. We're trying to get some little doodads taken care of on this thing to make the machine better, faster, stronger, and better looking. So as you can see, we're installing the radiator right now. That is the stock Polaris Predator 500 radiator. We still have the stock mounting tabs for that radiator, so that's beautiful. We're gonna go ahead and get that bolted back up, and then we're gonna go ahead and try and get our new Schnitz racing fan installed properly in the right position to get the most airflow possible. This is an upgrade from the stock gsxr fan, which is just a 6-inch fan. I believe this is a 9-inch fan that we're going with. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm super excited. Glad you're following along. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Okay, as you can see, I reused this top radiator mount as the very top fan mount. And so what I'm going to do is, these fans come with these nifty things here. And so if I get that in there, it looks like if I get another mount right there, this thing will be mounted by 2. And I could mount it with 4. Which is a possibility, and I think I should get at least 3 on it. Sorry about that, I forgot to roll the camera for that first tack weld. To get this other side on camera at least. That's my bad, sorry about that. No biggie, I suppose. To do that, we're gonna have to remove that radiator to get in there for the rest of that weld. Okay, and now to tie the top frame rails with the bottom here like they had it previously, to give this upper area some more strength. What we've got here is a bracket here, and the top of this has been fish mouthed to accept that, and then down here the bracket will go onto the frame, and this piece will be welded to the upper tube. And yeah, so just like that right there, that'll work nicely. And obviously this unbolts from the bracket here to make this whole area still come in and out. So I'm going to go ahead and back this camera up a little bit and get the welder out, put this to it. Alrighty, sorry for the poor shot here. Anyways, this is going to be wrapping up the frame rails right here. We'll come back for some better footage of those frame rails, some close-ups, so you can really inspect those later on. And at this point, let's go ahead and move on to the next part. That completes the welding for the bottom. The top is welded a little bit on both sides, but we're gonna have to get this off to fully weld around that. So now's a good time to remove it, fully weld it, get it back on there, and then we can finish the other side. And after that, then it looks like we'll probably be finished with this little project here, and it's on to the next, which just so happens to be the exhaust. I'll be glad to get this finished though. This was kind of a big project. Okay, what's up? Today I'm going to be working on the exhaust. So I've harvested some bends, and I bought a couple more bends and a straight piece, and we might not be able to need to use some of these pieces that I cut off. But anyways, so yeah, luckily we're already working with, it's got itself split into 2. and they weren't cut off totally flush here, so I got to get the grinder out and clean both of those up and get the wire wheel on them, make sure that they're gonna be able to be welded to, and then each one is getting a clamp, exhaust clamp, which that will enable us to slip it in and out, because it already looks like you're not getting that exhaust off without pulling the motor. Now it possibly might slip out of there, but I'm not really sure. We'll go ahead and weld those on first and then find out if it's going to slip out or not. And if it doesn't, then we'll deal with that at the time. But I think I need to get it to slip in and out. But yeah, anyway, so let's go ahead and get this stuff welded up so you can pretty much see how that's going to work out. There's a couple bolts in there that are out right now. But anyways, so yeah, let me get that cleaned so we can get welding. Okay, so we've got the end of this passenger side all cleaned up. So now I'm going to position this, and it just is perfect for what we're doing. It really is. This is going to turn out nice. So we might as well keep it tucked so that when this wants to clamp down, it's coming straight back. And right about there, I think is pretty much what's going to do it. Alright, now it's straight. We could actually just have this prop up. But see, we want it tucked. We don't want it any lower than that right there. I can tell you that right now. So it is a bit of an angle. Alright, let's just mimic the other side, I guess, if possible. Hopefully you guys can see that, I don't know. Probably can't, but I don't know any other way. You see? Okay. So if that is tight in there, it gets right about there, looks like. And if that was there, inside there, that would about do it. And so, yeah, I'm thinking that right there. Like this. And that should about do it. That should about do it. So we could even utilize this if we wanted. You know what I mean? We could utilize that right there and chop this off however long we need it. That makes it real easy. That's nice. We may go back and get a second one of these to do the other side with, because I think the other side's basically gonna, after it gets to here, it's gonna mimic that. Now, I don't know if I already told you or not, but this battery tray has to leave, so we're gonna have to chop that out, unfortunately. And we're gonna put it, I guess, probably in front of this tank. There's also room in front of that a little bit. And so, but you can tell that there's no way I'm gonna get this up in there without moving that. And so I had to also, on this side, this bracket here. Let me get you over here so you can see what I'm talking about. This bracket here held this remote reservoir for the rear shock. It held it right there and put it like right here in the way, obviously, as well. So that's gonna have to get moved. Anyways, it does have to go somewhere. The battery also has to go somewhere, but I don't have it all figured out yet. I just know that I have to move it in order to make this this dual exhaust and make it look good. So for now, I'm just gonna concentrate on this side, and I'm just gonna do it one side at a time. And this side looks like the easiest side to build. So we'll build that, and even though I probably should do the hardest side first and then mimic that, because this looks like it'll be easy to put anywhere. The other side might be a little bit harder to get it right where I want it, but I don't know. I just kind of decided that we're gonna go this route, which is the easy side first, and then do the harder side. What do you think? Should I do the easy side first or the hard side? The hard side really is a little bit hard because, well, it's not that bad. That looks like it, if that was turned, let's see, yeah, I'm looking at, yeah, that's long enough. So I'm looking at that if this tucked in there and was like that, no, that's too much of a bend. Too much of a bend. So that's too much. Let's see if the small one does what we need. The small one looks, the small bend looks, it's a little bit short here. It's a little bit short. I think that's okay. I think that that is just enough to get in there and be clamped. I can always weld a very small straight piece on the end of this to get it a little bit longer. But that's a little bit less of a bend, as you can see. And I think that's gonna get us pretty close to where we need to be. And then if I cut here and turn this, yeah, I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Sure, this floor is cold. I'm gonna think this through a little bit more and then come back with some welds on camera. So you're probably asking, why are you using a Sawzall and not a chop saw? Well, when you get as good as I am at using the Sawzall, you can make your own choice. You build your own stuff, you get to make your own choice. And I can cut perfectly straight with a good blade on a Sawzall. No need for me to use a chop saw. And honestly, I've had some accidents with chop saws. I can't think of many accidents with a Sawzall. That's always a good test. See if it sits flush. One piece all set to go. Let's double check it. Okay, I like to have it in the clamp here so that I can weld that and it's not going to, because as soon as I weld on this side, the opposite side is going to pull apart. So having it clamped in here, while I get started welding, I can weld and then let it cool and then turn it 180 degrees. It should still be touching. If it's not quite, I can use the clamp to get it touching again and then weld. And then that way it's going to give you the best weld possible that you could possibly get, and the straightest pipe that you could possibly get. Because let me tell you, you can get, if you just free weld it like I was doing what you saw a minute ago, you know, it's going to pull to one side and the other, and without a clamp in place, could cause problems. Alright, so we put 3 welds down right there. We're going to let this cool, and then I'm going to rotate that in just a second here. It'd be nice to have a wire brush out here. Where's my wire brush? There's a teeny bit of garbage on this vise that's probably not good. So even with it clamped, it's still pulled apart a little bit. But if I smash it, we can get it back together. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's see if we can. I'm gonna find something to wipe this down with. What's going on here? Something happened. There it goes. Let's see what it looks like on this far side. Okay, now I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me see if I can see it in the camera. Focus. There it is. So as you can see, there is no gap. No gap anywhere. Even though I'm mostly only welded on one side, it's enough. It's enough of it to fully keep it together, I guess. But we're gonna go on the far side, a couple more. So we'll let this sit here and cool for a second and get that up on there and see what it's going to look like. Okay, so that's without me holding it, so it's hanging down low. But my plan was to try and end it somewhere. Oops, sorry. I always move the camera around thinking I have both of my hands. I really need somebody to film me sometimes. And I don't really know how well I can get the shot setting it down. Whoops. So, well, there, that helps. Okay. So, yeah, you guys can't really see this at all. But either way, there's space here, and the exhaust is gonna come out the back, obviously. I don't know how much we want them to be visible. So, yeah, not entirely sure about everything, but I do know that I like that placement. It looks right, and I can kind of move this, or even once you tighten that clamp, you're gonna have a little bit of movability, not a ton, but enough movability to get this thing positioned kind of a little bit where you want it. We might let this hang right about there probably, and from about here I'll probably chop it, and then I'll buy some kind of a trick end piece that slides over this to tuck in there, and then we'll make sure we build some kind of mounts to mount this piece so that it stays sturdy, and with it clamped there and mounted here, we'll be all done with that, and that'll look good. So until I get the end piece, I'm not going to be able to determine exactly how this is, but so far so good, and that's pretty much one side done for the most part, until I get the final little tip piece to determine how long that tip is going to be. Let's see what time it is. We might be done for tonight. All right, shout out to everybody watching these videos. I appreciate it. This video's already gotten over 20 minutes long here, so we're going to go ahead and end it here. Like you heard right there, I'm still waiting on some exhaust tips to come in. So, but I am trying to keep things moving. So in the next video, you will see me finish up this other side of the exhaust here tomorrow. And then I will go ahead and get the seat recovered as well. So that'll be in the next part 4. You'll be only able to catch it here at Fantasy Customs for Life. So stay tuned. See. But man, that thing's got to weigh a ton though. No way. I can't believe it can lift that thing. That's freaking nuts. Dang. It lifted it. Alright, we're next. We just got a little one here. Little guy.